Opening this up for my panel this evening, Anila Singh of the Bharatiya Janata Party is with us. George Kurian, who is supportive of the Congress Party, is with us. Remember, the Congress Party is not being joining us on this debate, considering they are the ones who started this entire conundrum, but now they are deciding to stay away. It beats me completely, but we'll have to wait and watch what is the kind of response that we are getting from them and also from George Kurian. Also, Mr. K Siddhartha, who's a scientist, is with us, and also with us is Arun Anand, consulting editor, First Post. Anila, I'll begin with you since you're the only lady on the panel. Let me actually, go on with ladies first, as is the custom. Want to understand that there was a Twitter post that was put out by the Congress Party that went on to not just laud the scientific community, also India's space exploration in the name of Chandrayaan 3, the latest one, and then went on to acknowledge the first Prime Minister of the country. Why did BJP have to jump the gun and say that it's only under Prime Minister Narendra Modi's regime that India has achieved so much?
My Ram Ram to all, and if we talk about any success in the nation, whether the success is connected to the space or the defense or the industry, say our name, any success, definitely it is political. And why I say so? I say so because when the team or an organization or an office works for something, then definitely political blessings are required in the form of budget. So if you talk about the budget, so we very well know that whether it was UPA or earlier times, how the Congress has behaved for any mission which has to be launched for the space. It is very step motherly treatment by the Congress for the space research or any sort of progress. So in today's date, when the budget is more than double since 2014, and we can see the wonderful work, and the Chandrayaan 1 was started during the tenure of Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, and since Modi ji became the Prime Minister of this nation, so much of achievement has been there in this field. So why shouldn't we say that the new leap has been taken by the space research in our nation since Modi ji has become the PM? If they are going to talk like this, oh, हमारे time पे तो ऐसा ऐसा हुआ था, अब भूल नहीं जा रहे हो, नेहरू जी के time पे ऐसा ऐसा हुआ था, then we have to show them the mirror. Boss, you must understand this thing, that what has happened under the tenureship, Prime Minister tenureship of Narendra Modi ji.
Okay.
And how we are working, and how in a day's time, like so many satellites are launched. And in today's date, I'm so proud our country is the only nation which has landed on moon on this part. South Pole 1.
But Anila, if you are so proud, you also began with answering my question by saying that any kind of achievement that the country has made in so many years of its independence has only been political. Doesn't that discount from the credentials of the scientists, all the senior ones who have been involved for so many years in achieving this moon mission for the country?
No, why I said so? Because immediately I said it is political because the budget allocation has to be done by the government, the ruling government. That is why it is political.
Okay. I would get Mr. K Siddhartha to respond to the budget allocation point that Anila has been making. Mr. Siddhartha, I know as a scientist you'd want to stay away from politics. Unfortunately, it has become so political and it's become into a battleground as to which political party deserves the credit for India's moon mission or for space explorations. First of all, do you agree with the claims that the BJP spokesperson is making that under the UPA regime, the budgetary allocation was not apt for India's space explorations or for that matter, the moon mission? Chandrayaan 1?
See, politics is a game of perception. And how is it that perceptions and narratives are played? This can be anyone's guess, particularly anyone from media like you. You can always go on to make it so. But we're going to make it go to the basics and make it very, very simple. See, every government wanted that India should go on to achieve something in space. It was only the intent of the person, intent of the government, to an extent, whatever that you can go to call it. And the way certain things have been cobbled together, they have been coalesced together, they have been fused together, and so on. Now, for the last so many of these years, any achievement that we have made, that have been basically by the scientists. But you
Yes.
also know that we lost 195 scientists, not by a natural death. They were killed. You know that much better. So this is one part that can go on to be discounted from any type of a credit from anyone. Now, from 2014 onwards, there has been a shift in the science policy, in the space policy, and fortunately, that has started bearing some type of a result. Now, even before that, there were certain things that were happening, and they were happening almost every day. As far as technologies has been concerned, ISRO has been always trying to do it so. But imagine cryogenic engine. Now, if India wants any type of a technology, it won't undergo a phase of an arm twisting like it happened with cryogenic engine. Because in cryogenic engine, India was literally arm twisted. And not only that, some of the scientists who were trying to develop it, you know what had happened, and also how is it that some of the governments protected them as well, the culprits. Now, it is only now that we happen to know what was the truth. Now, because of the shift, this shift has taken place from three angles. That is what is remarkable. The first is technology. The second is the zeal. The third part is the international cooperation. Chandrayaan wouldn't have been successful had European Space Agency not cooperated with it, had Britain not cooperated with it, had United States not cooperated, had failures as well. So it is in all, the combination of scientists along with the policymakers who never actually dissuaded the scientists not to do anything. That is number one. And to cap it all,
But did the dissuading
what
come in the
exactly we
earlier
are doing
UPA
right now
regime
is
is what I'm asking you, Mr. Siddhartha. Are you making that claim that during the UPA regime, that assistance that was much required by the people in governance was not given to the scientists? Because this worst point that you mentioned, zeal, that has never been missing as far as the scientific community of the country is concerned.
well, see, this is something that can be debated, and to put myself in that bracket, whether it was to an extent desired or not, that can go on to put a lot of debate on that part. What we are only talking about is that the degree of cooperation that was required, the degree of international cooperation, financial cooperation, technical cooperation, and the zeal that was going to be required. In this case, the government has focused itself completely onto science, onto economy, and you see how is it that the international stature of India has grown. We are not being arm twisted. But of course, some time back we were being arm twisted. Now you can always go to say that there were reasons for it and so on and so forth. We don't want to drag ourselves into those aspects. But all in all, it has been a credit of the scientists. That is the way they have been doing the work, the way they